from three really good friends. So yeah.
I gotta ask you though, have you pondered the worst case scenario in your mind?
I'm a writer. When you're a writer, you just ponder every possible scenario in your mind. Every scenario. The worst case, the best case, whatever. I ponder the scenario that the essay would run and nobody would care. I'd be out there all alone and nobody would care. I pondered that. What's that?
Is that about deportation?
I've thought about deportation. You know, I haven't been back in the Philippines since I was 12. I don't remember a lot. I thought about all of that. But I also thought about what the benefits could be, not just for me, but again, I think we have a responsibility to each other. You know, I'm a firm believer in that. That's why I'm a journalist, because I think we have a responsibility to each other. Yeah.
You've been likened to a lot of revolutionary figures like Martin Luther King.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I've read that.
You read that?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
But there have been people that have said that what you're doing is so radical. Just voicing your opinion, you're voicing your dislike for a lot of people actually believe to be a social ill, the immigration policies here in America. But even someone like Jose Rizal, who spoke up about the issues in the Philippines. But a lot of them didn't get to walk the trails that they blazed. Are you concerned that, or does it ever cross your mind that you may never be able to reap the benefits of the things that you've done with this by raising awareness?
Well, first of all, I don't consider myself anywhere near. You know, a lot of people have risked more and sacrificed more than I have. I mean, I just think about my family. You know, what my Lola had to do, what my Lolo had to do, what my Uncle Conrad had to do. You know, my Uncle Conrad is one of the people in my family. You know, was a Navy guy, an officer in the Navy. You know, grew up in Zambales, and he made it in America. And he was, you know, he was leading a team of, you know, people in the Navy, right? I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my grandmother. I'm proud of my Uncle Roland. I'm proud of a lot of people. So I think each of us just has. There just comes a point, I think, in everybody's life where you have to take a stand, and that's kind of what I'm doing. And I hope that. I feel like I've already benefited. I do. I feel like I've already benefited. This country has already given so much to me. And granted, I've paid my taxes. You know, I've tried to become an upstanding citizen, and I think I've given a lot to it too. So I feel like whatever that path may be, I'm not going to be alone in that path. But also, you know, I feel like I'm just kind of getting started at it. That's the thing. You know, I'm 30 now, and I know for people that might not seem too old or whatever, but for me, it seems like I've been carrying this thing for 14 years, and now it's off my back. Now I'm going to get started. You know, it's like now I'm going to get started. So I'm thinking, I'm excited by that.
This brings me back to a question. You know, of course, revealing this complicates your ability to earn a living. What are you concerned actively about that?
Yes. I mean, I'm lucky that I was making a pretty good living before I did this, and so I saved up some money. I'm running out of money. But there have been some donors, you know, that have been funding the project and in a way kind of funding me. But I don't want to rely on people for money. I hate that. I've always made my own money since I was like 18 years old. And so I want to be able to get at that place where I can make my own money. We're trying to figure out what that might be from a legal standpoint. You know, I'm really in many ways kind of, you know, getting creative with the law in terms of what the law can allow you to do if you're an undocumented person. You know, it's one thing to be an undocumented person who owns like a janitorial service or something like that. But if you're like a writer, I don't know how that's going to work out, so I'm trying to figure that out. And still pay taxes, so people don't feel like I'm just mooching off the government. So yeah, I'm worried about it, but I think we'll figure it out. It's not the number one concern. Look, I grew up, in Pasig when I was younger there. My early years were in Pasig and Zambales when I was younger. I mean, I used to sleep in a cot in a bamboo house at one point, and our house in Iba, it's a nice house. I don't really require a lot. It's not like I'm required, It's like as long as I have a bed and a bathroom and some clothes, I think I'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about some people that feel that your story of attaining this, I mean, especially for me looking in as a writer, this incredible success as a writer, while being an undocumented immigrant, and going around having to be deceptive, having to live with a doctored Social Security card.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the people that think you may be encouraging other people to follow your footsteps, to do something?
That's a very good question. You have to do what you have to do to survive. I had to do what I had to do to survive. Because again, I was not going to depend on my Lolo and Lola to feed me when I got out of college. I wasn't going to depend on just the kindness of people to just give me money. I wanted to make my own living. I wanted to have it. To me that's integrity. I wanted that. Am I encouraging people to break the law? You have to make your own choices. I had to make my own choices, and I'm not paying for them. I'm sorry that I had to break my country's laws, America's laws. But what was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? So again, I don't want to speak. You make your choices. I made mine, and I'm paying for them now. But at the end of the day, that's why I came forward, because I couldn't do it anymore. I could have kept on going, just writing these long magazine articles and making good money off that. I could have kept going for 5 more years, because my license, I got a different license when the other one expired. But now, I'm not doing that. I'm not using the license. I've given up driving, just in case. I don't want to get caught by by a cop for any kind of minor transgression, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, wait up.
Luckily, you live in New York.
Yeah, luckily I live in New York. There's a great subway system, and I love walking, so I can walk 40 blocks, no problem. But traveling is going to get hard. How do I kind of flying around? Hopefully, getting a Filipino passport to be able to fly around and have identification. So yeah, I'm preparing myself, and I prepared myself for kind of an alternate lifestyle.
Now,